Welcome to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show, where you get advice you can trust from the Capital Region's leading experts in real estate and all related fields. From the latest real estate trends to the best mortgage rates, from curb appeal to home warranty, this is the talk show that will help you save and make the most when it comes to buying or selling your most valuable asset. Now, here's your host, broker and founder of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, the property shop, John Bevilacqua.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Johnny G.
Hey, Johnny
What's
B.
happening, my man?
Yeah, another good day.
Another good day, Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
Saying goodbye to summer.
Oh, that's not good.
I know.
Well, some people...
I'm hanging on tight, man.
Some people like to say goodbye to summer because they love the fall, and I get it.
Listen, there's something to be said about the leaves changing.
Yes, there is.
Halloween, and I am looking forward to the kids going back to school. I'm not going to lie to that one. Okay, so
Yes.
it's time. It's time to get back in the routine. Got Rich Curry over here from Care Patrol back on the show.
Good morning.
Yeah, we got a good show for you guys.
All right.
Yeah, Rich and I kind of had a good pre-show call a couple days ago, and we wanted to bring attention to. The Herzog guys are connected. Rich's business, which I'm going to have Rich kind of give us a quick summary after we do our sponsor break. But what he does and what the Herzog guys do are directly connected, and it also ties into the real estate piece, which is why Rich's company is a great fit for the show, and it helps those senior folks find a place to move on to once the single family residence becomes
a little too much,
a nuisance, or too much, or just
you don't need it.
You don't need it. Yeah. So Rich helps people find care beyond that. But good show today because Rich brought up some good points on the pre-show call about some misnomers that he gets from a lot of his clients and they're tied into the real estate piece. But before we get into it, we're going to hear a quick sponsor break, and when we come back, Rich and I are going to talk topics on senior care.
To schedule an appointment with John Bevilacqua to help you buy or sell your home, call 518-957-SOLD or go to johnnyhasthebuyers.com. John will be right back with more of the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show here on Magic 100.5 and AM 590.
Hey, it's John Tesh. If you're thinking of selling your home, let me take the stress out of deciding which agent to hire. In the Capital Region, the agent I recommend is John Bevilacqua, founder of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty at the Property Shop. So for 2 decades, John has helped more than 2,500 families buy and sell the place they call home. That's a solid track record, one that's backed up by dozens of 5-star reviews. Hello. In fact, John is so confident in his marketing system to attract the right buyer for your home that he guarantees to sell it at a price and deadline you agreed to, or he's going to buy it himself for cash. And he provides that guarantee in writing. The agent I trust is John Bevilacqua, and he's the agent you should trust too. His name is his promise. Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. So write this number down. It's 518-957-SOLD. That's easy. 518-957-7653. Or go to johnnyhasthebuyers.com. I love that one. johnnyhasthebuyers.com, and you'll get your home sold guaranteed.
Hi, I'm Matt Moore from Moore Insurance Services in Clifton Park. Let me take the stress out of quoting your home and auto insurance. We represent over 10 companies, which allows us to find the best coverage at the best prices. We've been helping families in the Capital District save money on their insurance for over 10 years. You can count on a quick turnaround as well as great communication every time. Give me a call at 518-280-1452 or go online to moreinsurancesvc.com and experience the difference. That's moreinsurancesvc.com.
Buying or selling the place you call home can be stressful. When you have questions, you don't want to wait for answers. Well, for 20 years, Kim Salerno and her team at Salerno Law have built a solid reputation with buyers, sellers, and real estate agents as fast, respectful communicators. They know Salerno Law will protect their rights and respond quickly when a question arises. Trust Salerno Law. Call 518-309-3404 and check out their 5-star reviews at salernolawny.com.
If you're buying or selling your home and would like to schedule an appointment with John, call 518-957-SOLD or go to johnnyhasthebuyers.com. Now back to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show and your host, John Bevilacqua.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, we're back.
Just like that.
Too much John in the back end here.
Yeah,
anyway, Rich Curry, Care Patrol.
Yeah.
We got you back, Rich. I'm so happy, man.
Hey, great to be here.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So before we get into it, Rich, I just want to put it out there that this is a call-in show. So we got Rich here for a half hour. If you guys have any questions, you have some senior folks that are relocating, trying to figure out the next step on where to go with senior housing, nursing homes, senior care facilities. This is the guy. This is the expert. And also, if you got questions about real estate, you're in the middle of a transaction, you got questions you want to hit me up with regarding where you're supposed to be with your attorney approval clause, what your inspections look like, how your financing's coming, give us a call, 518-476-5900. That's 476-5900. And the whole point of the show is to bring you guys, the listeners of the show, our audience, the most up-to-date tricks, tips, hacks, basically anything that we can provide as a resource to help you buy or sell the place that you call home. That's what the show's all about. That's what I've been doing for over 20 years now. Not bragging at all. I'm just applying for the job if you're thinking about buying or selling a house to get that job. So give us a call, 518-476-5900. So Rich, let's talk about it. Big misnomer, right? You get the call, someone's calling in a Care Patrol. They got a senior member of the family that's needing to relocate in the sense that they need to get into senior housing. What's like the big? What are they missing out on?
Well, probably the biggest call I get, or the most common call, is my mom needs a nursing home. That's usually the catchphrase.
The nursing home, quote unquote, air quotes,
quote unquote,
right?
nursing home, right?
Yep.
So
no, you don't.
We always take a step back and say, okay, let's
stay involved, Johnny. Please stay involved.
All right.
Yep.
Let's get a picture of what's going on. So we sit down and we talk, and a lot of times, because they'll say nursing home because the only catchphrase that they're aware of.
That's the only. You're right, that they know. Yeah.
Right. So when we sit down and we go through the care needs and what's happening with the senior, there's so many other options out there that are less invasive than a nursing home. Now,
right.
They're necessary sometimes. But when we sit down and go through the care needs, there are a lot of other options: independent living, assisted living, memory communities, places that are much more affordable. Give a more of a ratio of staff to resident, and the care needs can be met. So there's a whole slew. To have that nursing home catchphrase, while it could be needed, we want to make sure that we're getting the right situation for each person. Okay, so I hear the term AL, IL a lot. Like, what's the difference? Like assisted versus independent? I get them all confused. So an independent living community would be someplace where it's maintenance-free living to start. Okay. Then within the community, they may have meals. They may have a continental breakfast. They may have some services such as housekeeping, but it really is independent. You're on your own. If you were to fall, the building would call 911 for them to come out with EMS to help. Where an assisted living is... going back to IL, an independent living, can we call that a 55-plus community? You could, well, not see, really. That's what I mean. Like, there are nuances here. Right, so even a 55 and older community would be a condo or an apartment. Okay. All right. Strictly maintenance-free, and that's it. Okay. So independent, you might get a little bit level, I wouldn't say of care, but more of concern. Right. That... There may be more activities. Okay. There may be, there may be meals included. There might be some housekeeping. But again, it's light assistance. Light assistance. Okay. All right. Some transportation. Okay. Maybe to doctor's appointments or shopping. And then we jump to assisted living. And then within that, there are different realms. Okay. Enriched and enhanced levels of care. So in a lower level assisted living, you have to be mobile. You have to be able to get up and down on your own. Okay. But you can get help with, again, all your meals, medication management, some help with dressing, showering, laundry, housekeeping, all of that's taken care of. Okay. And then in a higher level of assisted living, they can help with mobility. They can help with diabetic care, so maybe some insulin management. So that's really the differentiating between the assisted livings, the different levels. Okay. And then memory care is... More folks with dementia. With dementia. Okay. Right. So those are secured communities. A lot of times we have folks that are fit. Maybe they could run a marathon, but because of dementia, Alzheimer's, they're a flight risk.
Right.
So in those communities, they have their own apartment. Again, all the levels of care that we talked about, but the community is locked. Okay. So they can't walk out the door.
For their safety.
Right.
Yep. So, I mean, when you get that call and you sit down, you must have a process, like a consult, that helps you determine, like, how do you fit these people into the right communities?
That's one of the things that we really pride ourselves on, is getting out in front of each family. So sometimes we get a call and a loved one is in the hospital or they're in a rehab facility, and time's of the essence because Medicare is looking to make a cut. The meter's running. They want to get that person stabilized, but then they're out the door. So we get there, we get in front of everybody, go through the process, do the evaluation, and make our recommendations. Or someone may be at home and they're trying to get ahead of this before the problem really happens. So we go out and meet with them at their home.
Okay.
So that's really what we pride ourselves on, is getting in front of the folks, doing a face-to-face, really sitting down and drilling down, and including the senior, because they're part of the conversation also.
Yeah. Is there preparation that families can make to kind of, prepare to figure out where they're going to go? Or
Absolutely,
is it sometimes just a game time decision that, hey, you know what, this is where I'm at right now, and now I got to find a place?
A lot of times people kind of bury their head in the sand, saying it's not going to happen to me.
Right.
Just like the folks at the previous show.
Yeah, a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Doing the planning is important. So I always stress to folks, if you are thinking that in the near future or down the line we're going to need something else, I'd prefer that we meet, talk, and even maybe look at some communities with tours, which we go with families on, to know what's out there. So you're not making that decision from a hospital
Great
bed.
idea.
That's
great.
It's you're limited on the time and what you can get done.
Yeah.
If you're sitting in a hospital bed on Wednesday and you know you're going to get discharged on Friday.
Right.
And you know mom can't go back to that 2-story colonial with the washer and dryer in the basement.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And I see a lot of people that I sell homes to that are, pushing mid-60s, late, and I'm not putting ages onto this at all, but they're moving into bigger houses at older ages, which I see more often than not. Usually it's the opposite trend. They're trying to downsize. I'm like, well, maybe we can put a chair rail here and, one of the automatic chairs. And I'm just, I'm not trying to tell them what to do because it's their dream, but I'm also sitting there going, why are you taking on this big house at that kind of age? But
yeah.
Again, you can't tell people what they want. They know what they want, and I mean, when they're at that age,
right.
Well, you're not gonna talk them out of it. At that point, you just try to help them as much as you can.
Right.
Yeah, we just try to be a resource.
Yeah.
And that's what we're, a free resource that comes out and meets people face to face. There are some online companies and things like that you just push a button and that's all you're getting. We really pride ourselves in sitting down and drilling down and figure out what the problem is and come up with a solution.
And that's the beauty of Care Patrol. It doesn't cost you anything. So why not give Rich a call, give his team a call, and figure out where you need to be in the process and start doing that planning, right, Rich?
Planning ahead is just key because it just gives you more options.
Gives you more options, right? And so when that incoming call comes in, like who do they talk to? I mean, is there somebody in the office that they talk to first? They set up an appointment with you? Like how?
Yeah, so the call comes in, either I field it or Lisa McLean or Kim. The three of us take the calls, and then depending on where you're located, we kind of attack it from there. So,
okay, so personal care, personal one-on-one with Rich is what you're gonna get, or somebody from his team. So this isn't like a big corporation. Johnny's giving me the 1 minute side. And so before we hit the break, just going back to the differences in the homes, what's the staffing requirements like on some of these facilities, just to kind of differentiate AI versus AL versus IL, et cetera?
It was the IL. There's no staffing because there's no services.
Okay. Yep.
Assisted living and memory care are different based on the acuity and the level of care that the residents require.
Right.
So at a given time, you may have a higher level of census. So then that staffing ratio is higher. So you can't give a specific number. It's just the acuity of the care.
Okay, got it. All right, listen, after the break, guys, Rich and I are going to tell you how Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the Proper Shop are the ultimate 1-2 punch to help your family not only get into senior care, but afford it, right? We're going to talk pricing and affordability of these different types of senior care facilities right after the break.
To schedule an appointment with John Bevilacqua to help you buy or sell your home, call 518-957-SOLD or go to johnnyhasthebuyers.com. John will be right back with more of the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show here on Magic 100.5 and AM 590.
Hi, I'm Matt Moore from Moore Insurance Services in Clifton Park. Let me take the stress out of quoting your home and auto insurance. We represent over 10 companies, which allows us to find the best coverage at the best prices. We've been helping families in the Capital District save money on their insurance for over 10 years. You can count on a quick turnaround as well as great communication every time. Give me a call at 518-280-1452 or go online to moreinsurancesvc.com and experience the difference. That's moreinsurancesvc.com.
Buying or selling the place you call home can be stressful. When you have questions, you don't want to wait for answers. Well, for 20 years, Kim Salerno and her team at Salerno Law have built a solid reputation with buyers, sellers, and real estate agents as fast, respectful communicators. They know Salerno Law will protect their rights and respond quickly when a question arises. Trust Salerno Law. Call 518-309-3404 and check out their 5-star reviews at SalernoLawNY.com.
If you're buying or selling your home and would like to schedule an appointment with John, call 518-957-SOLD or go to johnnyhasthebuyers.com. Now back to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show and your host, John Bevilacqua.
All right, guys, we're back, and we have Rich Curry, Care Patrol, talking about how to relocate a senior family member, or if you're an adult child, I should say, adult kid. I don't know.
Well, I know what you mean.
Contradictory, but figuring out care for a senior family member and figuring out what the next housing choice is for them. And Care Patrol provides a free service where Rich is basically he is a senior care facility broker in a sense that he knows these facilities. And John and I we're all just talking at the break. I mean, John, you had a scenario with your mom where
you got to. I mean,
tell us about it. Like,
if
this is a great
what to do.
It's as the Herzog side. It's a fact pattern, right? Or it's a case study, as they say.
I mean, the money is one thing. That's the Herzog side. Finding the right fit is the other side of it, and that's what
was your experience like? How did you?
Well, I mean, you just can't. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah,
you have to look around. You have to tour facilities, and hopefully tour the ones that the person you're putting in there is qualified for, or will have a good fit. And if it's not, you got to keep looking. And in the meantime, it's tough.
Yeah, and then
it's tough.
Then even if you do find the facility that you think is the right fit, it could turn out to not be right. What happens in that sense, Rich? Like, let's say.
Well, it all depends on, first of all, money.
Yeah.
So now we're going to the other side of it.
Yeah.
We found a great place. Which happened to me. We found a couple of them.
Yep.
Couldn't afford them.
Right.
No. Couldn't afford them.
But before we get into the money, though, what happens if you think you find the fit and then
that's it. I mean, we could have avoided that, right?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking, Rich. You think you found the fit for your loved one, and then you get them in there, and it turns out it's not a good fit.
That's what we try to look at. Not that we have a crystal ball, but I try to look at past what you're doing today,
right?
And past what you did. I've always done this because that's the biggest. I've always been able to do it. Well, that's great, but now you can't.
Right.
So we try to look out. I try to look out into the future and say, okay, so we're doing X, Y, and Z, and if you start to fail somewhat, can this building still manage that?
Yeah.
So I always want to look at a little worse than where we are and make sure that building can still manage it.
Yeah,
so what we do is we review everybody's licensing, their care levels, their New York State Department of Health surveys, because we want to know if there's any issues going on with the building. And, they can happen, but did you fix them? And did the next survey pick up the same problem, or have they been alleviated? So we do all that also.
Okay.
So that all is the legwork that goes into what we do before we even meet a family.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But then we want to make sure that we're setting them up to succeed by looking, like I said, out past what they're able to do today, and can that building manage it? Because the worst thing you want to do is move someone to a community and they're right on the edge of their level of care.
Yeah.
And then 3 months from now, they have an issue. They go to the hospital.
Yep.
And then the building says, "Well, we can't take you back."
Yeah, that's got to be crazy.
Yeah.
Now they're getting
you got to be ready for that scenario.
Yeah,
that's the big one.
And then they get thrown into God knows where, and you don't really have.
The hospital will just put them into wherever, and you're like, "Whoa, what happened?" So you have to intervene. I didn't know.
You didn't know.
It happened to me. How would you know? Yep. Nobody tells you these things.
So take advantage of it. Listen, if anybody's out there and you want to tell us a story about this happening to you or have questions so you can avoid this, give us a call, 518-476-5900, 518-476-5900. We'll get you on the air, and you can talk to me and Rich. Let's talk about cost, Rich, because these places are not cheap, right? I mean, at the end of the day, this is almost like collegiate tuition on an annual basis. Well, maybe not annual anymore because Syracuse is $60,000 a year.
$60,000.
It's like, maybe not as much as college tuition, but they are expensive. And how do people pay for this? I know private
and level of care comes into play.
Yes,
at the facility.
It does
when it comes to cost.
Yep.
So the good thing about the Capital District is we have a lot of options.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that can be good and bad because someone going on the internet at 2:00 in the morning is overwhelmed with the amount of options that are out there. Right. So that's what we try to sift through. Ways you pay for it. Obviously, the sale of a house. Mm-hmm. That's your biggest asset. And nobody wants to see that disappear, but that is your asset, and that's what you work for.
Yeah.
So that's there. Obviously, retirement. You have Social Security, a pension, hopefully. There's savings, IRAs, retirement pension or retirement funds. But there are also some other things, long-term care policies, if you happen to purchase one that is out there. And we go through the policy to make sure that if there's coverage, that it is paid. Mm-hmm. There's also veterans benefits. So if you were a veteran of a war era, and right now, believe it or not, we are heavy into the Vietnam era of veterans.
Those guys are age now.
They're 75 plus now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Those benefits are out there for both the veteran and their surviving spouse.
Good to know.
And they do help. For a veteran, it's $2,200 a month. For the surviving spouse, it's almost $1,500.
That's pretty good.
And while it takes some time to get, and it doesn't happen overnight, we do advocate very hard for through the VA to get those benefits. Okay. And they're lifetime benefits. It's not just a one-time deal.
Wow.
So that's out there.
Okay.
There are also some communities that do accept Medicaid. There are not a lot of them, but they are out there. So we do work with those folks that are on Medicaid or approaching Medicaid, so we can get those benefits for them.
Okay.
Right. That's good.
And in terms of pricing with a lot of these facilities, I mean, are they pretty transparent, or is there due diligence that you guys have already done to figure out? I mean, because there's always hidden costs.
Sometimes you have to know what to ask.
Exactly. It's like if you're not used to the process, then you could end up getting...
Well, that's what we definitely work with the families, because we know what the pricing is. We know some places are one price. Okay. Everything's included. Other places are the care is a la carte.
Yeah,
on. And some are kind of bridged, so they're layers.
Okay.
And we work with the families to figure out which is going to be the best system for them and what the care needs are. Some folks don't need a heck of a lot of care, and we can see that they really probably won't need it for many years. Mm-hmm. So we set them up where it would be less expensive to be at a community that might be the a la carte.
Yeah.
Because if you're not picking those services up, you're not paying for them.
Yeah.
Sometimes a medication management will be included in the rent. So we work with the different scenarios to make sure it's going to work out best price-wise for them.
Good. Yeah, because I just always assume that there's got to be some, a cost that the layman, the consumer themselves, aren't going to see in the process.
Some of these communities have big buy-ins also, which I'm never a big fan of. But
how does that work in terms of a buy-in?
Sometimes it's a lump sum where you put it down, and you might get a percentage of it back if you leave the building.
Okay.
For whatever reason.
Oh.
And then some communities also have a layered system where they have independent, assisted, and the nursing home all on the same campus.
Okay.
Sometimes people want that system because they know we can go to A, B, and C. We don't have to pick up and leave.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, that's a lot to try to figure out if you haven't gone through the process before. And I again, like John was saying, like to have somebody like Care Patrol in your corner that already knows the system. They know they know what to look for. It's free. Like, why wouldn't you call Rich if you guys are in that situation right now? Like, call in. We'll get you in touch with Rich. 476-5900. We got another sponsor break coming up, and then after this break, we're going to talk about the ultimate solution. If you have a house that you need to pay for that's going to go towards senior care, I've got the ultimate 1-2 punch to get you out of that situation.
To schedule an appointment with John Bevilacqua to help you buy or sell your home, call 518-957-SOLD or go to johnnyhasthebuyers.com. John will be right back with more of the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show here on Magic 100.5 and AM 590.
Hi, I'm Matt Moore from Moore Insurance Services in Clifton Park. Let me take the stress out of quoting your home and auto insurance. We represent over 10 companies, which allows us to find the best coverage at the best prices. We've been helping families in the Capital District save money on their insurance for over 10 years. You can count on a quick turnaround as well as great communication every time. Give me a call at 518-280-1452 or go online to moreinsurancesvc.com and experience the difference. That's moreinsurancesvc.com.
Buying or selling the place you call home can be stressful. When you have questions, you don't want to wait for answers. Well, for 20 years, Kim Salerno and her team at Salerno Law have built a solid reputation with buyers, sellers, and real estate agents as fast, respectful communicators. They know Salerno Law will protect their rights and respond quickly when a question arises. Trust Salerno Law. Call 518-309-3404 and check out their 5-star reviews at SalernoLawNY.com.
Hi, I'm Matt Moore from Moore Insurance Services in Clifton Park. Let me take the stress out of quoting your home and auto insurance. We represent over 10 companies, which allows us to find the best coverage at the best prices. We've been helping families in the Capital District save money on their insurance for over 10 years. You can count on a quick turnaround as well as great communication every time. Give me a call at 518-280-1452 or go online to moreinsurancesvc.com and experience the difference. That's moreinsurancesvc.com.
If you're buying or selling your home and would like to schedule an appointment with John, call 518-957-SOLD or go to johnnyhasthebuyers.com. Now back to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show and your host, John Bevilacqua.
All right, guys, we're back with Rich. We just got a couple of minutes here, but Rich always comes to me and says, Johnny, the biggest thing we face or have to tackle is what to do with the house, right? And it really comes down to cashing out on the house and using that equity to get into these senior care facilities, which are pretty expensive. So I demoed our cash offer program for Rich when he was in the office a couple months ago, and he was just blown away because we put Rich's house in there. We had multiple cash offers on his house in about 15 minutes, and they were all pretty much around market value. And he's like, well, how does this work now? I said, these are all institutional buyers. They're going to put a cash offer on your house, and we can close within 3 to 4 weeks as quickly as we can get title done, and you're out of it. And he's like, wow. He's like, we need this. He's like, this is a perfect fit for what we need to do to get people out of the houses, because they get worried, like, oh, the house might not sell, or we don't know what it's worth, we don't know how to price it. And we figured out this is the ultimate kind of scenario. And the other program, which he liked a lot, is the sale leaseback, where basically the buyer will come in, give you market value for a home, cash you out in 3 to 4 weeks, and then allow you to stay in your home for up to 6 months. Well, because Rich, a lot of times you have wait lists, right?
We do. At times we do.
You do, right? Sure. So it's not always that easy, especially in the really nice facilities, to get your loved one in there, where this is a great option for Rich to do his thing.
Yeah, you kind of like rent back, right?
You rent back. Exactly. You rent back for about 6 months. Like, who else is going to do that? You're not going to get that from a traditional buyer, right? A traditional buyer.
Not usually,
Not usually. So in this scenario, the cash offer program is the perfect solution. So you need to sell the house, you call us. We put you in touch with Rich.
Oh, I hate to do this.
And Johnny G's cutting us off, but I think we made our point.
I'm not cutting you off. The time is.
Right. Exactly. the time is. Rich, how can they get a hold of you quick?
At 518-391-9505.
Perfect. Care Patrol, Rich Curry, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
We got Mike DeMasi from the Albany Business Review, journalist. 54321. We're off the air. Thanks, guys.
The Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show is presented by Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, the property shop. Join broker and founder John Bevilacqua every Saturday morning at 8:30 to hear about the latest real estate trends here in the capital region, where to find the best mortgage rates, home insurance, home warranties, and more. To speak to John about buying or selling your home, call now to schedule an appointment. 518-957-SOLD. That's 518-957-7653. Or go to johnnyhasthebuyers.com. That's johnnyhasthebuyers.com.